What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. You join me in the Audi A6. No, it is not my car. I did not buy a third car. I will buy a third car, but it's most likely going to be something like a G-Wagon. Either ways, this is in fact a courtesy car. I'm heading back to Lamborghini Edinburgh because a Huracan has just had its annual service done. So I figure with that out of the way, I may as well make a video detailing how much it costs to own that car. Because it's something I asked quite a few times. It's something that I was quite curious of as well before I bought the car. So what I'll do is I'll break down like the most cost-effective scenario for owning one of these cars, but also give you the more expensive but more ideal scenario of owning the car. And I'll break it down to monthly and daily costs for you guys. However, you know what? Since I've got the Audi A6 and since I've had it for the last 5 days, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a quick my opinions on this car. This is by no means a comprehensive review because I wasn't ever planning to do this. It's just something that, you know, I've got some spare time because I've got a long drive to Edinburgh anyways. You know what? This is a brand new Audi A6, like 1,000 miles on the car. And there's already a few things I don't like about it. And sadly, with cars, you notice more of the things that you don't like than the things that you do like. And this car has got a few things, not specific to the Audi, but I'm realizing I'm not too keen on. Number one, I've got to mention, is something called, I'm not 100% sure what it's called, but it goes along the lines of lane departure warning or something like that. I remember when I worked at Renault, quite a few of their cars had it as well. So this is not me saying Audi is bad for it. I'm just saying it's something I don't like. Lane departure warning. What it is that when it senses you drifting on to another lane, it pulls the steering wheel to try and pull you back into your lane. And in many cases, when I'm driving, I'm pretty much sitting like this. I mean, I've got one arm on the armrest, my other hand is hardly even holding the steering wheel. I don't drive 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock position as you should. I'm not condoning that this is the way you should drive, but when I'm like last few days, there's been no traffic around me and I'm changing lanes and I don't indicate because there's no one around me. And when I go to change lanes, the car tries to pull me back into the lane I'm in, thinking you're falling asleep at the wheel or something like that. And when I'm not holding the steering wheel really tight, it catches me off guard. And many times the car sort of fishtails a little bit. I don't like that function. I'm pretty sure there must be a way to switch it off, but I'm not too sure because I've not been that bothered that I wanted to change it anyways. Be a lane departure warning or lane departure assist, not a fan of it, don't like it. Another thing I don't like about this car has got to be the touch screen. Now, I know in my BMW i8 video I talked about how they should have a touch screen. Well, I'm now going to take that back because the touch screen is, when you're driving and you're looking at the road and you're trying to work this touch screen, there's not a physical button, there's just a screen. And when you're trying to hit something like put the air conditioning up or down or the temperature up or down, unless you're staring at the screen, you don't know if you've actually touched the button or you've just pressed a dead space on the screen. And it's very distracting trying to work it, did I change it or not? So you find yourself looking at the screen more than you're looking at the road. See, this is a perfect example, this and lane departure is a perfect example of how modern technology does not make the driving experience any better. As a matter of fact, modern technology makes the driving experience worse in this scenario. And I can understand why manufacturers are doing it, because nowadays cars, they're so similar to what they provide manufacturer to manufacturer that every brand is trying to find that little edge to make them that little bit better. And because the price of cars are going up, manufacturers feel they need to give you more technology in the car to justify the price. So they do little things like this, which is like a double-edged sword, because yes, the technology is better, as a driving experience it's actually worse. I don't like these things. Third thing I don't like about the car, not just this car, again, not just this car, voice activation. Oh my god. Well, when I picked up the car, I tried to use the sat nav to get me home. I was like, okay, it's got voice activation. Well, that's pretty useful because I'm not too sure how to navigate this screen. Trying to give instructions in a Scottish accent Why even bother? I don't understand. These voice activations, they understand every accent. They can understand a Jamaican accent. They just cannot understand a Glaswegian accent, a Scottish accent. Why is that? Surely, I can't be the only one who has this problem. But anyone watching this video, type in below, how bad is my accent? Can you even understand what I'm saying? Or are you just watching this because I'm just absolute eye candy? Obviously. Another thing I noticed about this car, DAB radio. Now, I don't use DAB radio, but correct me if I'm seeing this right. Does that say Gadio? Is that what I think it is? Surely they've not named this radio station Gadio because it's what I think it is. I mean, that, surely not. You know, I'm actually worried. I'm actually too scared to flip it onto that to see what it is in case it's something I might enjoy. But yeah, shout out whoever named that station Gadio, whoever listens to Gadio, type in the comments below what type of music is it before I switch on and get hooked on it. Okay guys, we've made it to Lamborghini Edinburgh, and this is the aforementioned Audi A6 with the gay radio. I absolutely love coming here. You've got Lamborghini on one side, you've got Ferrari on the other side. I think you've reached a good place in life when the biggest decision you need to make is whether you take a Ferrari over a Lamborghini. Now for me, I've always been a Lamborghini fanboy, always, and I always will be till the day I die. Always going to be a Lamborghini fanboy. But there are two Ferraris I would love to add to my garage. Not saying I'd ever sell the Lamborghini for a Ferrari, but if I could, oh my god, I would take a Pista. Ferrari 488 Pista. This has got to be a dream car. That and a Ferrari 812 Superfast. Any of those two. I think for me, my dream garage has got to be a Pista, an SVJ and a G-Wagon. Those three cars, that would be absolutely epic. Okay guys, that's us back in the Huracan. They've had this car for the last 5 days to do what was essentially an oil and filter change. Now, they told me beforehand it would take roughly 5 days. Absolutely fine with that. I think the longer I spent away with the car, the more I began to miss it. But we've got it back finally, and here is the invoice. This basically, the service cost £2,800. I did, however, manage to get a discount on that. What happened was, the day I dropped off the car, there was an error, partly on my behalf, partly on their behalf, like a miscommunication basically between us. So what they've done was they've taken a good chunk of money off the service cost. I won't tell you what it is because I don't think it's fair that anyone else tries to take advantage of that sort of loophole. But now we've got this sorted, we're going to drive home and we'll get the figures for you guys so you know how much it costs to own one of these cars. Okay guys, that's me home, and I've taken the liberty of writing down all the numbers for you guys so we can keep this as organised as possible. But before I discuss numbers, I want to discuss a great area, which is of course car finance. Now, complete transparency, absolutely honest, I finance my cars. I'm not ashamed of it, it's just the way I do things. Now, I know a lot of people have said to me, if you can't afford to buy the car outright, you shouldn't buy the car. Well, you know what, everyone's got their own opinion, everyone's entitled to their own opinions. I completely disagree for two simple reasons. Say for instance the car, it took you 3 years to save up to buy the car outright. I don't want to sound morbid, but you know, nobody knows if they're going to survive 3 years. You don't know when your time is up. And if you're confident you can pay the payments, the monthly payments on the car, by all means finance it, because that means you at least ensure you get to enjoy it for a period of time if in fact you do end up, you know, 6 feet under within 3 years time. That way you've at least enjoyed the car. The second main reason why I'm completely for financing for a car of this price is that if you had £150,000 and the car cost £150,000, it just wouldn't be smart business to sink all your money into what is essentially a depreciating asset. I mean, the car is going to go down in value. Cars go down in value, basically, even supercars. I'm not talking about hypercars, you know, these kind of limited production cars, which can go up in value, but these are few and far between, and most likely nobody watching this channel is even in one of those cars. But supercars, they go down in value, just not as much as normal cars. So it's just not smart business to put that money into something which is going down. What I would always suggest, and again, this is not financial advice, I'm not telling anyone what to do with their money, I'm not telling anyone they need to finance the cars, I'm just telling you my opinion, is that if the car was £150,000, you know, put it down a 10-20% deposit, and if you've got the money left over, I would sink that into like property. Something's going to go up in value. So if you bought a few properties, if you mortgaged a couple properties with the spare change that you would have had if you didn't sink it all into a car, what you find is that those properties, they'll probably, you know, if you rented them out, they'll probably pay for your monthly payments for the car, and they'll probably leave you some spare change left over. So you tell me, what would you rather do? Would you rather sink all your money into a car, or would you sink some money into the car, get some properties, have the properties pay for your car, and you've got properties going up in value? That's just smarter to me. So that's why I finance cars. Either ways, we're waffling on here. This video must be at least 10 minutes long already, and I've not even mentioned anything remotely close to how much it costs to own this car, and that's exactly what this video is about. So let's get started. First things first, the car costs £130,000, and I put down a £30,000 deposit, which equates to roughly 25%. Now, instalments, I pay £11.50 a month for this car, which equates to £13,800 a year for monthly instalments on the car. Now, road tax, there's no cheap or expensive way to do this, there's only one way to do this. For this car, road tax for the year is £500. Next, insurance. Now this is going to vary really widely depending on your driving experience, you know, how many years no claims bonus you've got and that sort of stuff. If you're not like me and you don't have 9 million points on your license, like my license is basically holding on by a thread, 3 more points and I'm taking a bus. Insurance wise, you'd expect to pay roughly £2,500 to about £3,000, somewhere around that for this kind of car. So I'd say, you know, say £2,750, let's play in the middle here, all the way up to, my instance, £4,500 if you've got points on your license. So £2,750 to £4,500 a year for insurance. Next, petrol. Again, this is really going to vary widely depending on how you use the car. If you're using the car just as a weekend toy, say Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're probably easily going to run £100 a weekend on fuel, which works out to £5,200 a year on fuel. If you're using the car daily, you're probably not going to be, you know, revving the hell out of it. You're probably not going to be, you know, driving it crazy, downshifting everywhere. At that point, if you're using the car daily, you're probably getting pretty bored of the car. So the car is just basically taking you to and from work, to and from the gym, to and from, you know, shopping. So the fuel cost per day, quite conservative, about £25 a day on fuel if you use it every single day, which works out to £9,125 for fuel for the year. So for fuel, £5,200 to £9,125. Now, servicing. This is going to vary depending on where you take it to get your service done. Now, you can take it to a back street independent garage, and I'm not saying these garages are bad. These garages are absolutely fine. They do the exact same job as dealership, except they're charging you a fraction of the price. Now, that service is going to cost you a good £600. If in fact you're like me and you took it to the dealer, as you've seen earlier on in the video, the service is going to cost you £2,800 for the year. And a service is something you need to do on a yearly basis, regardless of whether you've driven any miles in your car. You must get serviced every single year or every single 10,000 miles, whichever comes first. Now, tyres. Okay, this car comes with Pirelli P0 tyres, which manufacturers recommend is fitted to the car, and they're good for 10,000 to 12,000 miles. If you're driving 5,000 miles a year, you don't need to do a tyre change, but you'll need to do a tyre change the second year, so we'll do half of a tyre change, right? Now, tyres in this car from blackcircles.com or .co.uk, I'm not too sure, I'm not affiliated with a tyre website anyways. Tyres for this car, for the Pirelli P0s, is £970, so we'll call it £1,000. So if you're driving less than, if you're driving less than 5,000 a year, £500 on tyres. If you're driving more than 10,000 a year, £1,000 on tyres, right? Okay, total to own this car for 1 year is anywhere from £53,350 all the way up to £61,725. If you want to do that per month, that's £445 to £5,144 a month to own the car. Or if you want to do dailies, £146 to £169 per day to own the car. There you go, we finally got there. Now, if you're following this so far, you're probably thinking, why did you include the deposit in your calculations? Because year 2, year 3 and year 4, you don't need to calculate the deposit because the deposit is already gone, done and dusted. Well, that's fine. If you want to take out the £30,000 deposit, it works out to own this car is £64 to £87 a day. Well guys, a wee bit anticlimactic, you know, it's not as if we expected some kind of epiphany, but those are statistics for you, those are numbers for you. To own the car is anywhere from £64 to £87 a day. Now, that's going to be pretty much the same for every supercar, whether it be Ferrari, Lamborghini or Porsche or McLaren, because they're all going to be roughly the same price for servicing, same price for tax, same price for insurance, same price for petrol, same price for tyres. The only thing that's really going to be different is how much your monthly payments are and how much your deposit is. Right guys, that's all I've got for you. Thanks for watching. If you've managed to watch it to this far, don't forget to hit that like button, leave me a comment down below. Do you listen to gay radio? Is this a good radio station? Should I be listening to it? Is this how much you expected to pay for a Lamborghini Huracan? Subscribe, because I've got a lot more videos coming your way. Thanks for watching guys, see you later.